For the final step. Um, so for this one, I'm going to show you just some quick editing and remixing skills, some audio effects, and how to export and turn in. Um, we'll also go through the checklist and the rubric one more time just to make sure we've got everything. So now would be a good time for you to kind of go over that list and look over your project and see what you still need to do. Um, I still need to get a good outro in. I'm going to show you some strategies on making a good outro and intro. And we need to use at least two audio effects, export our song, and then turn it in. And then again, I'll just kind of go over some of these quality points that I'm looking for as far as sample seeking up, balanced mix, overall volume levels, creative editing and effects, and a variety of sounds and styles. So let's get to it. Um, so this is kind of where I left off last time. I did make a couple of changes just to let you know. These piano chords I think were going on too long, so I actually shortened them to 2 bars each and then fit in kind of 2 cycles of the 4 in there. And then this is kind of where we left off. And remember, I don't have an intro yet. I brought in a couple extra flute samples that I wanted to put in, but that's about it. So here's some strategies for making a good ending. You don't just want to have, like right now, it's just kind of stops at the, mids, just right at the end of a loop is a really awkward place to stop. Let's play it for you real quick. Doesn't sound too bad because I've got the flute at least going right there, but it's kind of like everything just stops like before it really like resolves. And so one really good strategy for finishing a song is actually just ending on like the very first note of each loop. So if I look like this is the end of the loop, right, and if I start dragging it out, there's kind of like one, that's one note, and you can see like if I drag it out further, it kind of starts the next note. So that's one note. So that's the drums. Let's look at the bass. That's a bass note right there. So we can maybe like leave that kind of hanging out like that. Let's see what that sounds like right there. Cool. Well, what would happen if we let the drums do that much? I think I'd do just like the one final hit there. Let's see the congas. Let's pull that out. Let's do. Yeah, they've got one more hit right there. Cool. That sounded good. And then another thing I want to do is I want to have this guitar like keep doing the wiki wacky thing, and I'm gonna fade it out as it goes, right? So that flute kind of hangs in the air and goes out, and then the guitar I want to have do the same thing. So this is kind of just like this kind of ending I call just like the one hit, like the final. You do one last big thing, and then that is the end of the song. Yeah. Okay, so how to do a fade out. A lot of these are just reminders from our last assignment, but just click on these little end squares right here on the loop, and you can draw in a fade out like that. So now that guitar part's going to fade out right there. Might want to do that on some of these others just to make sure there's not like a little extra hit at the end there that's maybe going to do something weird. Cool. So that's one way to end. Another really common strategy for ending is to just pull out one instrument at a time, right? So like if I was going to do that, let me just going to copy all these and paste them over here so I can show you this other way to end. So another way to end would be like maybe first of all let's bring out the bass first, right? So playing along, I'm going to take out the bass, right? And then maybe after that, I'll take out the guitar. So the guitar is going to keep going, and then the drums and the congas are the last thing to play, right? So that kind of has this type of vibe. Right? And so that way is kind of that kind of ending is called the layered ending, and that can be really effective also. Just bringing one layer out at a time, and that we're really close to that 1 minute mark. So if you need to just get a little bit farther, you can just drag these out a little bit farther to do that. So that's just some ideas on outros, and those exact same ideas apply to intros too. So if you're wondering like what's a good way to start, You can bring in one layer at a time. We kind of did that because we brought in the drums and congas first and then the bass. But you could also just start with a big, pow, and then the samples come in also. Those are just two ideas. So also we've got to use at least two audio effects, and we did, a bunch with that in the mixing assignment. So really the same rules apply. You can have EQs be your effects. In fact, EQs can be very effective on these samples. Um, Echoes, reverbs, compressors, and if you want to try some new ones that you haven't yet, I definitely don't have enough time to go into all of them, but let me just show you a couple. This flute, if you listen to it, it's already got kind of an echo built into the sound. If I just play it, see how it kind of like just echoes a little bit. I can add more echo to that though, certainly. If I go to a echo effect and drop it on there. And remember, if you drop an effect on a sample, it actually is going to apply to everything on that track. So just kind of keep that in mind, that echo is going to apply to everything, right? Yeah, I like that better because it's a little bit more intense, right? Yeah, that's cool. I'll turn up the feedback a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. And I want to put some reverb on there, of course, too. So let's check that out. Let's put a warm reverb long on there. How about turn the dry wet knob down? Yeah, that's cool. That's nice and spacey now. Maybe on the guitar, there's a cool effect called an amp that actually makes it sound like it's going through different amplifiers. Let's put like the blues drive on that and see what happens. Makes it a little bit more guitar sounding. Yeah, so you can see there's like different amp simulators on that. That's kind of a cool one to put on guitars. One that I really love on keys like this is something called AutoPan. AutoPan will automatically kind of shift it back and forth between your ears. We'll try the Suitcase AutoPan. Oh yeah, that's cool. So that's a cool stereo effect. I think I'll leave that on too. So that just gives you some ideas. Mess around with effects, have fun with them. When you get to the place where you feel like you're ready to turn it in, save, of course, and then select the area that you want to export. Now, this final flute sound, I just want to point this out. Oops. That echo is going to keep lasting even after the clip is over, right? So I actually want to select a little bit past that clip when I'm selecting what I want to export. So see, my bound went clear out to there, a little bit past the 1 minute mark. So first of all, select the area that you want to export, and then go up top to File, and we're going to export audio video. Normalize you want on, probably, I think. And then MP3 you want on as well. Normalize, what that does, by the way, is it just will adjust your volume levels if you're a little bit quiet. Make sure it brings it up. Do make sure that you're not hitting any red lights before you export for your mix. And we're just going to export to an MP3, so I'll hit export. Make sure you know where it's saving to. Make sure it goes to your Audio Student drive. And then if you want, you can change the name, but make sure that your name's on there somewhere. And then that will export your MP3. And then, of course, when you go to turn these assignments in, I need your MP3 n.als file. So we've done this so many times now. I hope that this step is really easy and obvious, and you got it now. There's my MP3. Before you turn anything in, I would always make sure you play it first. Make sure it sounds right. Make sure that it's got all the parts. Make sure it ends right. And make sure on the time, you'll see like I got 1 minute and 1 second, just barely and long enough, right? So just double check everything before you turn it in. And then I need that MP3, and then I also need your .als file. Those two turned into Canvas, and that's it. Email me if you have any questions, and definitely if even mid assignment, if you want to send me something, you can send me your .als file, and I can pull it up at home and check it out and just see where you're at, and I can make any recommendations. So if you want to bounce any ideas off of me, you can email me that anytime, and I'm happy to look over it and give you some suggestions. Okay, that's it for this project. Good luck, and I can't wait to see what you come up with.